And camping gear is very important part of every motorcycle adventure because it will give you some independence. But the question that I always ask people, do you really need it? We're gonna discuss this with more details later, but basically on this stream we're going to discuss tents, mattresses, sleeping bags, pillows, towels, flip-flops, and any other optional like foldable chairs, cooking stoves, cooking pots, spoons, forks, knives, and other camping options. So all of this we're gonna discuss tonight. What do you think about the time of the stream? 8 p.m. here, East European time. Do you think that it will be a good idea to move it a little bit forward, like 9 or 10 o'clock maybe? Or 8 East European time is good? Because last time when I did it was in 11 o'clock. I think it was a bit late for most of the people. Works for me, but well, works for all. Beginning and end of this Sunday, busy for most. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, for now I'm gonna keep it 8 o'clock. Okay, Matthias said also 8 o'clock is fine. I'm gonna keep it 8 o'clock. If necessary, I'm gonna change it. For your information, guys, I'm gonna make a post probably tomorrow about it. But now, when I start my trip, I have plans to upload, like not exactly daily, but at least 2-3 times per week, short video updates from the trip. But I'm gonna upload these video updates in the second channel, A Motorcycle Adventures Live, and only if I have this chance, because I don't know will it work on in Russia YouTube. I really don't have any idea for now, but if it works, I'm gonna upload like 2-3 times per week updates with my situation at the moment. And of course I'm gonna film everything, the whole trip as usual, and when I come back I'm gonna edit all the videos and upload them all in the second channel, Motorcycle Adventures Live. So the first channel, the main channel, that is going to be only for the videos that I usually do, advice, gear review, motorcycles review, or stuff like that. The second channel will be only for travel videos and updates from the trip. This is the plan for now. There are 2 reasons for this. The first is I already told you, I want to separate the audience. People who want to watch travel videos, watch the travel videos on the second channel. People who are here for some advice, they can have the advice on the first channel. And the second reason is that because of the current political situation, I don't know what will be if I start to upload videos from Russia. So YouTube may decide to demonetize or even make some strikes or even delete my channel, and I don't want to risk with the channel that I've got now. The second channel at least is still new, and it won't hurt that much if they decided to delete it. I hope that you'll understand. Forrest, the meeting was great. I did not expect so many people from abroad to come, but actually we were like 50-50, 50% from Bulgaria, 50% from abroad. A lot of people came to meet me. It became a wonderful meeting. They all enjoyed the time. So next year we're gonna make something even better, more orientated to not only for Bulgarians but also for people from everywhere. But yeah, the meeting was great. Everyone enjoyed, everyone went home happy. And the weather was good. It was a little bit chilly during the nights because most of the guys, include me, were in the tents. And it is perfect because we're gonna discuss camping gear now for the motorcycle trips. I have some things to tell you, but in common it really went well. So the next year, we're gonna have it again. It will be different location, but again, nice meeting. The guys especially love very much the roasted lamp and the traditional Bulgarian music, bagpipes and songs and everything was fantastic. To see what it is exactly, you have to come and be part of this meeting maybe next year, and you'll see what I mean. So as I said, because we spent the night in the tents, it was perfect timing to make this live stream camping gear on a motorcycle trip and to give you all the information that I've got, include the information from the last 2 nights. Okay, so I think it's time to start. The usual suspects are already here. As I said, the title is Camping Gear on a Motorcycle Trip. What do you really need? And camping gear is very important part of every motorcycle adventure because it will give you some independence. But the question that I always ask people, do you really need it? We're gonna discuss this with more details later. But basically on this stream we're going to discuss tents, mattresses, sleeping bags, pillows, towels, flip-flops and any other optional like foldable chairs, cooking stoves, cooking pots, spoons, forks, knives and other camping options. So all of this we're going to discuss tonight. And I hope, as usual, with your help and your questions, and if you, of course, want to add some more information, to make something really useful for everyone who is going to watch the stream after that. As I said, camping gear is very important for every motorcycle trip, but the question that I have is, do you really need it? And if you really enjoy camping, yes, you need it. If you want to save money, yes, you will need it. When you find a beautiful place and you just want to enjoy it, yes, absolutely, camping. And to have adventure, if you want to have adventure because of the camping, if this is your understandings for adventure, fair enough. But I cannot really see the point to look for adventure because of the camping. Camping is something like a necessity. Your mobile home to enjoy the nature, to enjoy a specific place, or to have a different experience than the one that you have at home. But adventure could be, so whatever. But what I will advise is before the trip to make a good calculation and research in advance. And let me explain to you what exactly I mean by saying this. And I will give you a few examples. 2 years ago, my trip was around Turkey, and the whole trip, like 40 or 45 days, more than 15,000 kilometers, cost me altogether 1,500 euros. Altogether, and I haven't been in the tent not even one night, not at all, no tent at all. Even though I've got the tent with me, I never use it. Because the prices of the hotels on that trip were between $8 and $12 per night. And this in many places includes a breakfast. So for $10 or $12, that's not really worth to open a tent and sleep in the tent, because it doesn't matter in what you believe or how good is your tent or your mattress or your sleeping bag, it is still a tent. And you cannot compare it with a bed. You can have it here and there if you want to save money, but this is a different story and we're gonna discuss it after a while. But when the prices are so cheap, like Turkey and in common the whole Asia prices are very cheap, as I said, $10 per night, it really does not worth to bring a tent with you, to have it for thousands of kilometers and never use it. So let me give you a few examples. On my trip around Central Asia, which was around 2 months, I used the tent only twice, and these 2 times they were not necessary. I used it because there were nice locations over there and I just want to spend the night in the tent. That's it, just twice, not necessary at all. Okay, one was necessary. It was in Turkmenistan, next to the gas crater in Dervaza. It was necessary, but not really absolutely necessary, because 5 kilometers away from the crater there were many guest houses, so I can easily park my motorcycle in the guest house, drop all the luggage there, take the motorcycle, go to see the crater, make the pictures, videos, everything that I like, and then go back and sleep in the guest house. But I decided to sleep in the tent next to the gas crater. And the second part that I used it in Central Asia was just again optional. We just decided to have it in one beautiful spot. That's it for the whole trip. So I can ask you now, does it really worth to have my tent 20,000 kilometers, like 5 kilograms altogether, for 20,000 kilometers if I use it only twice? I can easily go without it. The second example was Morocco. On Morocco, I got like almost 2 months trip, and I used the tent only once for 2 months trip, and it was not necessary. Then next year I went to Mongolia. In Mongolia I used the tent only once, again only once, 16,000 kilometers, just one night in the tent, just because I wanted, not because it was necessary. It was not for saving money, it was not for any other reason, just because of the beautiful location. And I already told you about Turkey, I never use it. But a few years ago, I think it was in 2014, when I went to Norway, because of the prices, I used the tent almost every night. And last summer, on my trip around Europe, I also got the tent. And from a 45 days trip, I used the tent, I'll say like 12 or 14 times, something like that, because of the high prices. Especially around Sardinia and Corsica, the prices of the hotels were not less than 80, 90 to 100 euros for single room, for single person. And that's why I said, in Europe, West Europe, Scandinavian countries, yes, you can save a lot of money. And that's why I said to make a good calculation and research in advance. This will help you to take the right decision, to take your tent or just leave it at home. Once again, when the hotels are $10 per night, the calculation does not really work well, because if you have already camp gear, fine, but if you don't have, to buy a good quality camp gear, you'll spend at least $200-300 only for the tent. They will have at least $80 to $100 or maybe $150 for good quality sleeping bag, and then the mattress will cost you at least $50 more. So you will easily get to the price around $500 just for the tent, mattress and sleeping bag. And here now you might say, yeah, it's a bullshit. I can get from Decathlon tent for 20 euros and it will work just fine. And also with the sleeping bags, I know that you can do it. I know that this tent will work just fine, but for how long? And please don't try to compare tent from Decathlon, made who knows where, from who knows what, with the tent, good quality tent from a good company that is already proven in many trips and nights around the world. It is absolutely not the same. Even that the tents for 20 euros will do the same job, it is not the same when the weather is bad, when it rains a lot, or the quality of the tent and longevity of the tent. So a good investment in quality tent and quality gear will definitely pay off on long term. So again, if you calculate all of this, you might realize that you don't need to spend money for gear and you don't need to take a tent with you. Because whatever light tent is, it's still some kind of additional weight that you're gonna put on your motorcycle. Okay, so as I said, good quality camping gear costs a lot and it will be pointless if you never use it. So if you spend $500 for camping gear but never use it, it's somehow pointless. Let's now see what is the most important gear that you actually need while you travel. I personally carry only tent, double tent, mattress, sleeping bag and pillow. Altogether 4.5 kilograms. Not much, but as I said again, this is 4.5 kilos, or this is 1/3 of the luggage that I have in my saddle bag. Or the tent and sleeping bag and pillow, everything all together, they are not only take 1/3 of the weight, but they also take 1/3 of the space that I have in my saddle bag. So without it, it will be much easy, not only from a kilograms point of view, but also from the free space that I can have in my saddle bag. But if you want to carry the rest of the stuff, then you can easily go to 7-8 kilograms or more. And I said that I carry double tent, and many people could argue here with me and said, yeah, your tent is too big, too heavy, you can easily go with 1 kilogram tent, just a single tent, look like a coffin. And you basically go like this on it and sleep and spend the night there. They're very light, good quality also. But if you want to spend many days in the tent, this is not a solution. A few reasons. First, it is not comfortable at all. You basically go like this into the tent, and if you have a claustrophobia and you need to spend the night like this, it's not really good reason. At least not for me. I don't like these tents at all. I prefer to have a dome tent as high as possible, because I am a tall guy, at least to be able to sit inside and change my clothes or whatever you want to do, because you never know, you might come to the situations that will be a heavy rain outside, so you cannot really go outside to change your clothes, for example. And how you gonna do it in this single tent that is with the shape of coffin? You just cannot. You have to be like a very flexible man just to change your t-shirts. And what about your gear? Where are you gonna keep your gear if it's raining outside like a hell? Where are you gonna keep your jacket, your pants, your boots, your helmet, the rest of the stuff that you have? It is just not practical. I understand that it's very light, but these light solutions are there usually for hikers that carry all the weight on their shoulders. So they have to be really minimalistic, otherwise all of this weight, that weight, they need to carry all the time. But when you have a motorcycle, you don't need to fight exactly for the kilograms of the tent, because the tent will give you some kind of comfort also. And this is very, very important when you need to relax. Let's go back again to the first moment when I said that to make a good calculation and good research in advance, you always need to consider the fact that you can save money from using the tent instead of hotels, but on what cost? If you cannot relax properly every night, this will definitely give you some negatives on your trip. You'll be tired on the next day, and on the next day after that, and the day after that, and on some stage the fatigue will accumulate. If you need to ride on the hot days and sleep the night in the tent, then on the next day is going to be torture, especially when the temperatures went over 40 degrees. Can you imagine to ride all day on 40 degrees and then to go and sleep in your tent when during the night is going to be, let's say, 30 degrees outside and still 40 in your tent, because it is a tent, it is not a air conditioning room. So when you calculate all of this, when you have all of this in your mind in advance, you might realize that you don't really need the tent, because it will slow you down. Yes, it will save some money, but in long term it might become even expensive. Also, in the hot environments, you might have a heat stroke in the tent. In the cold days, it's another story, also very uncomfortable. So let me give you an example that I got from the other day. I brought my tent. I have a small sleeping bag like this. It is very light, and the comfortable temperature of this sleeping bag is like 15 degrees. So far so good, but the first night that I spent in the tent was around 5 degrees. So with this sleeping bag, it's just not really possible to sleep. And because of that, I brought with me one extra blanket just to be able to spend the night in the tent. And even so, during the night, I need to put some clothes on it, and even my motorcycle jacket on the top to keep me warm and to be able to sleep and to spend the night properly. And even so, on the next morning, I was like, when you need to wake up like 5 or 6 times during the night, you cannot really relax properly. And this is what is possible to happen when you sleep in the tent. It doesn't matter how comfortable the tent is, or your mattress, or your sleeping bag. If the tent is very comfortable, if the sleeping bag is very comfortable, if the mattress is very comfortable, that means that we are talking about 6-7 kilograms or more gear. Richard, a 2-man tent gives one person room for their kit. Your own tent gives space from traveling friends and one day, and avoid this. Yeah, absolutely. I always carry with me two-man tent because I want myself to be inside, also my gear. And when you have a dome tent, they also got like cupola like that, and on both sides of the tent you have like a entries, so you can keep your boots outside, your helmet outside, and I always recommend to keep your riding gear inside of the tent because of the temperature changes. You'll have a lot of dampness in the clothes, and when you start riding early morning they'll be completely wet. But at least the boots you can leave outside, of course face to the sky, so you don't need to have dampness or some bugs inside. Alright, I was up to the tents and we're discussing the tent. Double tent, definitely double tent. So let me continue the story from the meeting. On the second night I already know what will be the night and the temperatures and everything. So I asked the guys from the yurts over there to give me another one blanket. So I have my mattress, I have one blanket underneath, and then it was sleeping bag with me, and then another one blanket on the top, and it became like a sandwich. And thanks to that I spent the night much better than the night before. It was actually very good. And some of the guys around were snoring very badly, but I've got a air plug, so everything went fine. But to have this comfort, I already needed one sleeping bag small, two blankets, and a lot of stuff just to have the comfort that you can have for $10 in a hotel room. When the hotels are expensive, it's different story. But when they are not, forget about it. And that's why I said, make a good calculation and research in advance. So it took me a little bit more to explain you all of this, but once you understand it, the rest is easy. You can just Google the prices, see the place, see what will work and what not. Another also very good point when you're making the research is what is the weather there, weather conditions. If, for example, you plan to go to Turkey, but you plan to go to North Turkey next to the Black Sea, and you plan to go there May, June, or even the middle of July or September, you have to know that you'll have a rain probably every single day. And if you have to spend the night, every night in the tent while it's rain, it's going to be, man, not good at all. You will smell like a hell after 1 week. So once again, just a simple 10 minutes Google research will give you so many answers and will prepare you so well that this will save you a lot of money and in long term will work very well on your trips. So we discussed the tent. Let's now go to the mattresses. Mattresses, you can have a few options. First is this self-inflatable mattresses, the one that looks like a roll, and when you unroll it, they just suck the air inside and self-inflate it. They are a very good option. They've got different sizes, like 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters, really comfortable. I can confirm they are really comfortable, but they have one big minus. They are very big. They are very wide like this. If they are, for example, 60 or 70 centimeters, does mean you have 60 or 70 centimeters size. Not that big, maybe like this, which is big enough in my opinion, but the size is very big, and in most of the situations this will not even fit in your saddlebags or in your hard panniers, and you have to keep it somewhere else, which is mean usually to tighten it on the rear seat or on the top of your motorcycle or another solution. But yes, you're gonna have some kind of comfort, but this itself will take a lot of space in your luggage. Another option that many people use are these foam paddings, very light. Again, you can roll it like this. Usually the hikers use them because they are very light, but the comfort with these things is just not good at all. I won't recommend to take one of these because you're gonna have many sleepless nights. And the third solution that I personally use, this is just inflatable mattress, air inflatable mattress. When you squeeze them, when you take the air out, they are very small. My mattress is like probably 1 finger size, and it looks like 4 packs of cigarettes, basically the size, and not that big, and it is very light. And to have the air inside, it's needs just like no more than 5-6 minutes, because it has a big hole with ventilation vent inside. So it's only press left the air to go one side. So it is very easy to inflate it, and also very easy to take the air out on the next morning when you need it. And because it is exactly made for camping, it is not a mattress made for swimming, it's for camping. It's from durable material. It's not that easy to punch it. It is possible, of course, but I have it from many years and I use it many times and still works fine. Very light, comfortable, and small size. So for me this is a perfect solution. For you might be different, but it is just my advice to you. And then we're going to the sleeping bag. I already told you some of the negatives of the not comfortable sleeping bag. Depends on the temperatures, but because usually people are camping during the summer, and me also, I usually travel during the summer and taking the tent with me only when the weather is good. That's why I decided to have a sleeping bag for 15 degrees or more comfort zone. If you want to have a sleeping bag that will be comfortable on 5 degrees or even less, does mean it will rise on size. It will be very bulky like this, unless you buy some very expensive sleeping bags made from further or something like that. There are many solutions, but they are very expensive. Usually this is for hiking in the mountains stuff, and they are expensive. But the one that I've got cost me, I don't know, like $30-40, something like that. Works well unless it's cold. But usually in the summer when I use the tent, I don't even use this sleeping bag. I use it like a blanket most of the time, sometimes even without it. So this is my advice on this. Don't spend so much money on big sleeping bags, because they are just like this. And then something which is very important, it's the pillow. Don't forget the pillow. You might say that, oh, it is easy, I can just bend my trousers or some t-shirts and sleep on it. It's not the same. Take a pillow, inflatable pillow. They are very light, very small. Once you get the air out, they don't take any space, but the comfort is much different than any towel, clothes, or whatever you can hang and bend under your head. So this is what I carry: tent, double tent, inflatable mattress, sleeping bag, small, very small, this size, and pillow. And once again, let's go back to the tents and what options we've got. Single, double, triple, or more. Even you can have a big tent to have your motorcycle in. I think lone riders sell these tents, but this is, I think, too much unless you have some really rare motorcycle that you want to protect from the weather, or you plan to spend every single night in the tent, let's say 2 weeks journey. Then you need more comfort, I understand that. So my advice, double tent for single person will work well. If you're two people in one tent, make sure that you have at least tent for 3 people to have some room left to put inside your clothes and the luggage that you have. Single tents, I already told you the negatives on it. It is not really good solution when you travel on a motorcycle. And one important thing that you have to have in mind, this is the water column of the tent and the materials that the tent used. So you can easily have a very cheap tent that is completely waterproofed with, it doesn't matter how many thousands of millimeters of water column, but it will be from plastic. That means it is not breathable, and when you sleep inside, it will be terrible. So you definitely need tent from breathable material that will hold and put away a lot of water. So my advice to you will be to have a tent with at least 10,000 millimeters water column on the bottom and at least 5,000 on the top. This will give you enough protection during heavy rains for many hours, even whole night. And the tents need to be from 2 different layers. One on the bottom with mesh to be breathable and the air could circulate around, and one on the top to stop the water going in. Simon, hi dear Pauline, I tend to use a good big sleeping bag to be able to sleep on the deck without needing a room for ferry. I can also sleep outside for overnight clothing. Yeah, I understand. This is a good solution if you want to spend the night outside. But again, this big sleeping bag will take a lot of space in your luggage. If you have a hard panniers, it will basically almost fill one of your panniers. And if you don't plan to carry a tent, maybe it is a solution, but if it rains, then what? You cannot sleep outside just because your sleeping bag is big and comfortable. But anyway, if it works for you, why not? Whatever works for you. But as I said before, a good calculation and research in advance will help you a lot. All right, fair enough. Thanks for sharing this information, Simon. So water column, minimum 10,000 on the bottom, 5,000 on the top. Most of the tents that you can buy from Decathlon will be maximum 2,000 on the top, and I have heard so many guys swear that they are absolutely perfect and they never leaks and stuff like that. I cannot really believe on it. It might stop and it might protect you from rain for a couple of hours, but not more than that. So 10,000 on the bottom, 5,000 on the top. Forget about Decathlon tent, make a good long-term investment and buy a good quality tent. Mattresses, I told you, in my opinion, the best option is air inflatable mattress, not self-inflatable, the one that you can put in and out. This works the best for me. For you might be different, but because of the size and everything I told you. Sleeping bag, summer, because most of the camping days will be in the summer, so you don't need to spend money for a big sleeping bag that you're not gonna use. Pillow, small air pillow works just fine. Something else that you will need on the trips when you travel and when you sleep in the tent, and you shouldn't forget, it's towels. Towels are very important, and there are many options nowadays to find towels from microfiber. I personally got two towels, one with the big size that I can use to take a shower, and one very small like that. It's like a small pocket. When I open it, it's like this. I usually use it when I want to wash my face, to brush my teeth, or just for my hands, so I don't need to wet the big towel. And they are not that expensive, and as I said, a lot of options, but make sure that if you plan camping, make sure that you have the towels with you. And one more thing that it's also very important, and usually it's forgotten. I also forgot it many times, and I regret. These are flip-flops, because when you're in the camping, flip-flops are so useful. You can go to the shower, you can walk around, you can stay in front of your tent, so you don't need to take your shoes all the time. Of course, if you have shoes. If you don't have shoes, that means motorcycle boots, and it's a funny picture to go to the shower with motorcycle boots. And let's see now what are the optional options for camping. These are the necessary. Without this, you cannot sleep in the tent. But the next that I'm gonna say are just optional. Some people love it and bring it with them. I don't think that they are necessary, and I never carry them with me because they will be extra weight and extra space in my luggage. The first is foldable chair. It could be small or big. I used to carry one very tiny foldable chair. This size, it was like 1 kilogram, but not anymore, because I realized that if I ever plan to sleep in the tent, it is usually in very rare situations, and I just open the tent, put everything in, and go to sleep. When I wake up early morning, I get out, clean everything, bend the tent, put everything together, and go to ride. And the chair is stay there without any use. But if you plan to spend many hours in the camping, sitting there, enjoying the night, eating there, having drinks or something like that, you definitely will need some kind of chair. But again, it depends on that, how exactly you plan your journey and how exactly you plan your camping moments. As I told you, for me, they are just a place to sleep. So I will go there usually just before sunset, open the tent, and probably go and ride around or eat something in the town, because I don't plan to eat in the camp. So when everything is done, my tent is already open. When I finish with everything, I will just park the motorcycle next to it, take my clothes off, and go to sleep. So I don't need the chair. On the next morning will be the same story. I'll finish with everything, put the tent back, and go to ride. So the chair is just pointless to me. But again, if you want to spend the hours there, sitting, chatting, smoking, whatever, dreaming, it's different story. Then you'll need a foldable chair. And there are many options. The other day, the guys in the camping, they've got really nice foldable chairs with quality materials, like made from duraluminum, with nice covers. They are very small on size and very stable for someone like me. I'm 105 kilograms. So there are more than enough options. I don't need to give you any links, because in every country is different, and you can find exactly what you need. Then the next option is going to be cooking stove, and this is only if you plan to cook your food. I used to carry a cooking stove on few of my trips before, but not anymore. I realized that if you carry one of these optional things that I just listed, you have to carry all of them, because they all work together. If you carry a cooking stove, you will definitely need a foldable chair. If you have a foldable chair and cooking stove, then you'll need a cooking pot. If you have a foldable chair, cooking stove, and cooking pot, then you're gonna need spoon, fork, knife, salt, pepper, dressings, and it's became like 10 kilograms of stuff. So they cannot work one without another. They're like what I have to say, whatever. You understand what I mean? So foldable chair, definitely many options. Cooking stove, there are two options: gas or petrol. I used to have petrol, and I believe that petrol is a better option, because you always got a petrol in your tank. It is different story, can you take it out from the tank, especially if you have a fuel injection motorcycle, but you always have a petrol with you, and you can always charge your bottle or whatever system you have on your stove and start a fire and use it for the purpose you need. If you have a gas, yes, the gas cans might be very small, but they are again something that you have to carry with you. And when they finish, they finish. No more. You have to buy a new one. You cannot recharge it, you cannot reuse it, and it's a little bit more not uncomfortable, a little bit more risky. But from the other hand, if you have a petrol stove, it's a little bit more difficult to start the fire, and there are some procedures that, or some important things that you have to know. With the gas, it's easy. You just turn on the gas, put a lighter, and that's it. With the petrol, is different. You have to pump, you have to wait, you have to keep the fire a little bit more, a little bit less. As I said, it's just something to learn before the journey. And then cooking spots. Cooking pots, big, small, whatever you prefer. If you're a single person, size like this will work just fine. You can make coffee on it, you can boil some spaghetti or whatever food you like to do. Again, there are more than enough options online, different materials, different shapes, different handles. They're all very nice. I can confirm they all work very well, good quality gear, and it will work better than the pots that you have at home, because they are made to get the heat very fast, to absorb everything, and to work well. Then spoon, forks, knives, again many small foldable options, basically like this, like multi-tools. You can have everything inside. You don't need to carry everything with you, but all of this, as I said, they all work together. And at the end, all of this, the pot, the knife, or everything, need to be washed. That means if you're on wild camping, you should have some kind of cleaning material to wash all of this. If you're on the camping, they will have it, but if you're on the wild camping, they will need something else to carry. And all of this will accumulate, and as I said, it will easily have like 10 kilograms. So if your idea of saving money, if your idea is only saving money, then maybe all of this will work for you. You will cook your food, you will sleep only in the tent, and you'll have all the stuff that you need, and you're not gonna spend any money on the site. But you have to spend a lot of money in advance to buy all of this stuff, because all of this cooking gear, like a foldable chair, cooking stove, cooking pots, spoons, forks, knives, these are not cheap at all. So if you want good quality that will work for many days, months, probably years, you have to spend a lot of money. I will say not less than $200-300, maybe more, depends on the brands. The cooking stove that I've got was very good, petrol. Only the cooking stove cost like $150. And then you will go to buy this cooking pot, and when you see the price is like $50-80 just for one pot, you might change your mind. Anyway, as I said, all of this is too complicated only if you want to save money, but you will give the money in advance. You have to know that. And then we're coming to camping options. So camping options are a few. First is paid camping, just camping grounds where you go, pay a specific price, and you can use their facilities. There will be a toilet, shower, everything you need. There will be probably a washing machine. Of course, you have to pay for it. It might be even in the price, but whatever. These are the camping, paid campings or camping grounds. And they're everywhere. You can find camping grounds everywhere. You can find many websites, many applications with your smartphone, places around the world. There are many people share information like this, big websites with very detailed information about campings everywhere around the world. So if you want to use these options, yeah, feel free to do it. They're everywhere. But the prices are always different. For example, other day I met one guy here very close to my place in Bulgaria who was camping in a camping ground that I even didn't know until this moment, and it cost only €5 per day, and they even give 1 day per week free. But around Europe the prices, the usual prices, will be between 10 and €25 per night. Depends on the quality of the camping place. So you should know that it's not only the tent that you have to buy and then only saving money. You still have to pay for your camping ground. And if it's €15, basically you'll spend €15 to sleep in the tent, but for probably €25 you'll share a room with someone in the hostel. In the hostels you can find it even cheaper. And once again, we're going to the beginning. A good calculation in advance might help you a lot. If the hotels in the area or hostels are expensive, then it's different story. As I said, in Sardinia and Corsica, everything was over 180, 90, €100. So it's absolutely different story. €100 are here, 15 or €20 for camping. It's like 5 nights in the camping for 1 night in the hotel. Some people also prefer to stay in the camps, not because they don't have money, they don't want to save money, they just want to have this community, to open the tent, talking with people, and less stay in the hotel. But for example, on my trips, my trips are not for camping. These are not camping trips. My trips are usually on my trips, I want to see as much as possible. I have a plan that I want to cover, specific kilometers, specific points that I would like to see. And at the end of the day, when I finish everything that I planned to the day, I just want to go, find a bed and sleep and relax for the next day. I do not have any plans to socialize, to talk with people and spend the whole night drinking in front of the campfire, because I don't have this energy anymore. I spend all day riding, and then I need only bed to sleep. That's it, end of the story. But if your trip, the idea of the trip is just to use, to travel from campground to campground, to enjoy the nature, talking with people, or making campfires, or cooking your own food, it is something completely different. Then everything that I told you is just pointless to you. But once again, if you know what you're gonna do in your trip, as I told you so many times, a good plan in advance will help you always. So make sure that you understand everything that I'm telling you now, because it is important, so you will save money, or you will buy a good quality tent and use it for a different purpose. As I said, many websites, apps and information online to find places where to sleep, what to find and stuff like that. And this is the paid campings. There is another one option, free campings, which is a wild camping usually they say. And you can open your tent everywhere you like if it's possible. Not everywhere is possible, but if it's possible, you can open it everywhere. For example, in Bulgaria, you can open your tent everywhere, unless you're in someone's properties. But when you're in the public land, you can open it anywhere and spend the night over there. It will cost you nothing. But you won't have water, you won't have toilet, you won't have shower. You have to bring everything by yourself. If you want water, you have to bring your water and your food and everything. This is wild camping. It will cost you zero, nothing. But then you have to buy your stuff. And it also works fine, and many people do it. I also did it many times. Even did it this summer twice in Spain. Even that I learned later that it is not allowed. I did it because it was too late and I couldn't find anything else and I was tired, and I decided, okay, that's it. I'll sleep here in this forest and we'll continue tomorrow. And I just opened the tent, went inside, slept like a deadlock, and the next morning, before even sunrise, I started and went traveling again. And yeah, you can use wild camping, but in many places around the world, it is forbidden. In Europe, in almost all European countries, wild camping is forbidden. It doesn't mean that if police catch you or some forest rangers catch you, they will put you in the jail. No, but probably they will charge you some money. And this is not good. Unless you get to some really nice officer that will just let you go, which is also possible. But from my experience with the German police officers, I don't think that they will make a compromise, and they will probably charge you not less than 100 or 200 euros for wild camping, and then this will be the price for 3-4 days hotel. So you really need to believe in to be careful with this. Another one example that I can give you now is Sardinia and Corsica. Wild camping is absolutely forbidden, and the charges, the fines are terrible. They start from $300 or euros, and how much they will reach, I don't know. They really protect their land, and it's forbidden to have wild camping there. So if you decided to go there, make sure that you camp on the proper places. So free camping might save money, but also you will risk a lot. As I said, not allowed everywhere. Sardinia, Corsica, and many places around Europe. For example, Russia, Canada, Alaska, camping is free, but there is another one risk there. For example, in Siberia, Russia, or Canada and Alaska, there are a lot of bears and wolves. And this is not something that you have to underestimate, because it might finish tragically. When I was in Alaska, the bears were everywhere, and I was informed that even a single chocolate bar in my pocket might finish with a bear in my tent. So you really need to protect your food, or keep it far away from your tent, on the high position, probably somewhere on the trees. You have to wash very carefully your hands. All the cooking stuff that you have, you shouldn't cook in your tent or around your tent, because all of this, as I said, might bring a lot of wild animals, and it will be only your fault. You cannot blame wildlife that they do what they are created for, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, free camping in these areas, it's not a good idea. For example, once I crossed the middle of Russia, once I reach Siberia, I won't even think about camping anymore. I will have the tent with me anyway. It's just as an emergency. If something happens, I still have to spend the night somewhere. But this will be my last option, the last solution. Before that, I will try to find a place, guest house, hotel, hostel, whatever, to spend the night. And if I cannot, then will be the tent. But this will be the last option, especially when I cross the half of Russia. When I go over Yakutsk, then it's absolutely nonsense to sleep in the tent. And let me remind you once again, it's absolutely must to make a good research before the trip, and this will save you a lot of money. All right, this was everything that I planned actually to tell you about camping and camping gear. And now, of course, I will give you a few minutes. Actually, there is no time limit at the moment. If you have any questions or if you want to add something as information that will be useful for many people, please feel free to ask. If you want to ask about specific tents and gear, of course, if I know something about it, I will tell you. Or any other questions that you might have, feel free to ask. Thank you very much, Richard, for coming here. Yeah, thank you very much. This is very useful information. Yeah. Also, air plugs are very important, especially if you have riding mates, because there is nothing worse than that you want to sleep and someone to snore like a tiger. What size of soft luggage do you use? Jeff, I have a 50 liters saddle bag that looks like a horseshoe. The company is 21 Brothers. It's a Polish company. I use this saddle bag for the last, I don't know how many years, already like 6-7 years. And it's the best bag that I ever got. It's 50 liters. Nikolai, здрасти, как си? Are you taking the tent and sleeping bag to Russia? Yes, I will take the sleeping bag and tent with me, and mattress and pillow. And I plan to use it only as a last possible option. I will have it just in case I cannot find any accommodation, or if I have a breakdown situation in the middle of the nowhere, so I will have at least a place to spend the night. Nikolai, also, do you carry shampoo or soap with you? Yeah, I have a soap with me. I don't use shampoo, I use only soap, and I always carry a soap with me. It is stay in a small bag with my toothbrush and toothpaste. Also, I have one dry stick that I use when I get out of the shower. That's everything I've got, nothing more. I do not have any perfumes, I don't have any lotions or any creams with me. I don't use this stuff. Simon, thank you for everything. How do you store water? How much do you take with you? I always carry my hydration pack with me. It stays on a small backpack on my back. It's 2 liters and Nikolai, shaving stuff. No, Nikolai, if you watch any of my travel videos, you'll see that I never shave on the trips. The last shave will be before I left home, and then when I come back at home. When it takes a lot of time, I became like a real Taliban, but I never shave myself. I have this like, what is the right word? I believe that if I shave myself, I'm gonna shave my famous luck. That's why I never shave. So, no creams for me. Once again to Simon, I have a hydration pack that is 2 liters, and I always have it with me on all of my trips. Cold or hot, I always have it with me. When it's too cold and it's freezing on my back, then I keep it in the saddle bag. If I need to sleep in the tent or even in the hotel room, I just taking the hydration pack with me. Usually when I'm in the hotel room, it is just hung on my bed and I can use it all night. If I'm in the tent, I take it with me in the tent. So hydration pack is very useful not only while you ride, but also when you don't ride. If you don't have it, you have to bring a bottle with you. Okay, while you ride, you cannot drink, you have to stop, open, drink your water. And then if you go to the hotel, you have to take your bottle with the hotel. That's why I have the hydration pack, and it serves with exactly the same purpose, but much more easy and comfortable for me. 2 liters I've got. And the hydration pack that I've got, it's from the brand Source. It never stinks. You can find it, just type Source hydration packs and you'll find it. My pleasure, Simon. Glad to help. Simon, where are you from? De Gruber, Germany? Simon De Gruber. Or Holland? Or Austria? Austria, okay. I was close. Close enough, yeah. On the last 3 days, we've got guys from Romania, from Poland, from Austria, from America, from Canada, one guy from Ukraine, one Russian guy, and what else? Hungarian guy, one guy from Austria, I told you. So it was like a big international meeting. Nikolai Kosev, I remember you had some stomach issues in Pakistan, if I'm not wrong. Do you take any pills for that, and also which? Yes, Nikolai, when I was in Pakistan, I've got 3 times really bad diarrhea. In India, I've got it also 3 times. In Bangladesh, I've got it twice, and in Nepal, I had it only once. Do you know why I had it only once in Nepal? Because I was there only 4 days. Yes, you need pills. You definitely need pills because bad diarrhea might bring you a lot of problems, dehydration. Also, you will lose a lot of important minerals, and it is very important to prevent all of this. Pills that I've got, I forgot what was the name. Now I couldn't remember the name, but it's very popular. If you go to any pharmacy, they will give you pill. But the important things to understand is that some of the pills that we use here in Bulgaria or you use in London might not work on the area where you plan to go. So I will advise, if you have this type of problems, buy pills locally. They work the best. One example that I can give you is from Russia. In few years ago, when I was in Russia, on one very beautiful spot was a very small lake, very beautiful lake with really nice clean water. And it was one local old guy there, and I asked him, is this water okay for drinking? And he said, oh, it's not only okay, this is the best water that you can drink. So I filled my hydration pack and started drinking this water. And after a few hours, I've got really bad diarrhea, but because of everything that this old man told me, I couldn't even connect it with the water. I thought that I ate something wrong. And it was so bad that I couldn't stop it for 3 days with the pills that I've got. 3 days I cannot stop it. It was just continue pressing and going and going. And then finally I went to one local pharmacy in Russia, and I said, okay, I want one pill, some kind of pill for diarrhea. And they gave me one pill. It was something completely different. I never seen it before. I got one pill, and guess what? Poof! I stuck for 3 days. It became like concrete for 3 days. So local pills always works much better. Simon, those black hole thing pills work amazingly for me. Maybe it helps, but it just, yeah, absolutely, yes. Some pills might work, some not. Yeah, I kept riding, but it was difficult, you know. You have to be careful. So my advice, if you have really bad problem, if you cannot stop it with the pills that you have, try something locally, and the result will be much different. But basically, once you leave Europe, once you go to Asia, it is not will I get it, it is when I'm gonna get it, because they cooked with different type of oils. For example, almost all Asia cooked with cotton oil or some other seed oils that our stomachs are not ready for it. And as soon you start eating their food, it is just became disaster. As I told you, I've got like so many times in my Asia trip, it was like something that was absolutely normal on some stage, because of different taste of the food, different spices that they use. For example, in Pakistan, everything was very hot, very spicy, and also in India. And hygiene is not what it should be. And yeah, this is something that, as I said, will it? And the question is when it will. So yeah, keep this in mind. Sneezing pills are best for diarrhea. I never heard them. Probably, yes. Depends on the diarrhea. Let me tell you once again, don't forget your air plugs, especially if you accompany a few people. When a few people snoring up around your tent, oh man, it is a disaster. It's nothing worse than just get to sleep and someone wake up you with this tiger voice all the time. Especially a few of our guys over there in the camp, they were like real tigers. And on some stage, it was like here, but on some stages, just got to one level, and it became like a resonance. Everything like oh. So air plugs are definitely something that you need to have a peace of mind and at least to sleep well. Yeah, as I said, the second channel I'm gonna use only for my travel videos, travel updates, and live streams. While I am on the trip now, if it's possible, if YouTube works, I will try to make at least one live stream per week on the second channel. It won't be that long, and it won't be that prepared with the information usually that I do now. It will be mostly to tell you what is the situation, how I'm going, what is ahead, how the days went, or stuff like that. Just there will be more like live updates, and of course if it's possible. But it will definitely worth to check the second channel and probably subscribe, because it will again provide useful information about the places that I plan to visit. Thank you very much, Jeff. Alright, I cannot see any more questions, so guys, I will end this stream here. I wish you all the best. Of course, next week, 21st of May, I'll be here once again at 8 o'clock. So thank you very much, Forrest. I will see you next time. Yeah, on the 21st of May, 8 o'clock East European time, I'll be here with another topic, and we'll see you again. Until then, keep riding, keep smiling. Bye.